Okay, here we have an interesting pump. We were given this one to test by one of our suppliers as it's a pump they're looking to bring in. And in concept, it sounds very interesting. It's a very tiny package. It's a variable speed drive pump. It's got a multi-stage impeller, which is nice. That normally gives a much better delivery than just the single ones. It's got a cleanable and removable non-return valve, which honestly is a very nice feature, as I've had to clean mine on my HMS 1500 at home quite a few times. Yeah, very nice, simple package. It's got a tiny little built-in pressure tank as well. So here at the top, if we start here, this is to remove air, a bleeding screw, but if you remove it, you actually take the whole non-return valve with it. It's a very simple little mechanism to take out and clean. Just got an O-ring on the edge there. Quite curious to see what it's actually like. While we have this open, let's see how easy it is to prime. You can hear the water rushing in. And there it's primed. Okay, that's friendly. That's very straightforward. Just going to hand tighten this and see if... Right, so we've got two displays at the top here. Let's have a look. We've got a target pressure, which is, it looks like it reads in 0.1 increments, and then it's got a operating pressure readout. So at the moment it's reading 3.1 bar. Roughly getting about 3 bar on our pressure gauge there, so that sounds about right. Let's see if we slowly throttle it up. How does it sound? Okay, so you do get a bit of a dip in pressure, and then it starts going. Fairly quiet. Let's first give it a go at a 2 bar setting, which should be its most efficient setting. Let's see what it does if we open just a very small load. Okay, there's running at a very small load. It's actually very quiet. Wow, at 190 watt, that's very low power consumption. Let's see how its response is and what it does if it's from off and we immediately open something like a single shower. So give it a sec to turn off. Okay, keeps running for a while. That might actually offset the small tank, because that means it's running when you want to open the water supply. But for this test, I actually want it to stop. Okay, there it's turning off. Let's have a look at the water flow on this side now. That's actually quite impressive. There's a little bit of a dip, but honestly not enough that it should bother you at all. So running a single shower, 250 watt, which is very, very good. Running 2 showers, we are at 280 watt. There we're at about 950 liters per hour. You can see the pressure is fluctuating a little bit, but it's keeping close to target. It's keeping on target on its gauge. If we open a 3rd shower, there we are at about 300 watt, which is very efficient. Doing it about 1,100, 1,200 liters an hour, keeping pressure nicely. Let's have a look and see what it does if we target 2,500 liters an hour. There's 2,500 liters an hour at 510 watt, which isn't bad. And there we're dropping a little bit. On its gauge, it's still reading 2 bar. So that's, yeah, honestly, that's very nice. If it performed this well here, you can see it's got a fairly small buffer tank, because it's set to 2 bar and it actually overshot to 2.9 bar when I closed there. So the buffer tank isn't big enough to absorb that pressure from the pump's inertia. But overall very nice. Let's quickly run through it and see what we get. Now got it set to 2.5 bar. Just want to more see what it does power consumption wise. See, definitely a bit slow, but very quiet to react. Single shower, 300 watt. 2 showers, 360. 3 showers, 380. And let's just confirm, can we? 2,500 liters an hour at 560 watt. Not actually sure what the rating on this pump is. We haven't actually got the wattage rating for it. Let's see if we set it to 3 bar. Starting to notice a little bit more of a dip in the response there, but still very acceptable. So it's 370 watt with a single shower, 450 with 2, 480 with 3. Let's just check, can we still get to our 2,500 liters an hour? Oh, can go over it easily. Can definitely hear the pitch of the motor. It's drawing a little bit more, and we're at 650 watt. But that's honestly really not bad. Let's have a look. 3.5 bar. Just run through the same thing. Single shower. Yeah, you can definitely start noticing a bit more of a dip because of the small pressure tank now. And now we're starting to get to a higher duty cycle on here to keep the 3.5 bar. We're running at 450 watt for a single shower, 530 for 2 showers, 560 for 3, and on here we're still keeping pressure. It looks decent. Okay. Let's have a look. 2,500 liters an hour. 750 watt, and it can still manage it. Okay. Impressive. Yo, okay. But there we're set to 3.5 bar, and on its gauge, its overshooting went to 4.8 bar. So definitely could benefit from an external pressure rise buffer tank if you don't want to go over pressure. Let's see how it does at 4 bar. Yeah, I can start to hear it more. It's a very, I want to say, kind on the ear noise, but it's definitely picked up a bit in volume. So 520 watt with a single shower. Still keeping it at 2 showers, 600 watt. 3 showers, 650. Still keeping pressure. Two and a half thousand liters an hour. It's at 820 watt. So getting there or thereabouts. It's dropping a little bit through the pipe. It's reading 3.9 on its, so it got to 3.9 on its gauge here. So it's starting to struggle a bit, but for a pump this size and this quiet, that's honestly really not bad. Okay, let's have a look at 4.5 bar. So 4.5 bar for perspective is what I run my house at, but I'm running on a much bigger pump. Yeah, now we're definitely seeing a dip, and then the stream actually picks up. So that's starting to get to a point where that'll be very noticeable. So 550 for a single shower. $680, and it's taking a bit of time to get the pressure up to target. It's there at about 4.4. The third shower, it's getting itself to 4.3 bar only, and we're drawing 710 watt. Let's have a look. Now you can noticeably see as it ramps up now, the flow picks up over time. Yeah, there's 820 watt and we're only reaching 3.8 bar. So we're reaching 3.8 bar at the 2,500 liters an hour. So that for that flow rate seems to be the limit. But for a pump this size to actually be able to work at 4.5 is honestly not bad. So let's have a look and see what it does at 5 bar. A single shower running. Okay, so single shower we're getting on its gauge up to 4.7 and we're drawing 600 watt. If we open another point, yeah, then we're getting to 4.5. So not much benefit at setting it at that level, but honestly, if you can set it and it can work up to 4.5 bar in sort of a domestic setting, that's pretty decent for a pump this size. Overall, very impressed. One of the things we don't know about it yet is we don't know what the price would be, but definitely worth considering. I'm assuming, looking at the construction, it'll be on the lower end of the price scale for the specs it has, and if that's true, yeah, it has our recommendation.